Ladies and gentlemen, Vandana Sethi.
So hi, Vivek, and I'm Vandana, product of BTech. I did my BTech from Kurukshetra and born in a middle class family. Dad was in a government job, so being an entrepreneur was always, you as a child, you always want to be one. But yes, the means and things were not there. Somehow, the way I was brought up, there was not very, there was not differences between male and female, so got good education. So graduated from Kurukshetra as in BTech. And then hello. And then as the so it was 1992 when I passed out, and as it was you were supposed to get married and then settle down, and that is what I did. But being home wasn't something which I was made of, so took up jobs. Tried before that I tried doing certain small businesses, and of course multiple failures. So I decided to pick up a job. I thought maybe entrepreneurship is not for me. So I picked up a job when, of course, everybody used to work in IT that time, and even it was easy as an engineer to shift to IT. But somewhere that bug, the entrepreneurship bug, always remains with you. And so I kept on pestering and kept on trying, thinking about what should I do. And then there came a good, brilliant idea of serving the government in IT sector, since my background became IT there. So we started, me and my husband started this company in 2008. And to software services, we added other things like telecom and after sales services. But within, so being from middle class with hardly any cash available in the banks, it became a tough journey. Of course, there was no experience on both sides for the business. So finally, we were closed in terms of the cash flow did not really help us grow. So there we decided to close, but somehow I thought that okay, this we cannot close it like this. So we decided to part ways. Husband moved out of the business and I took over. That was 2012. Somehow we had to really struggle hard to bring it back from that red to green. I mean, this year we will be doing more than 100 CR, and I have 800 people on my roles, and we serve pan India to all the telecom sector and provide after sales services and software services. So that's a very small brief of my entrepreneurial journey.
Inspiring, and then for a person like you, it's so inspiring. You should say something more about yourself. Like there must have been challenges, there must have been triumphs. What would you say was your biggest triumph and your biggest challenge?
So as I shared that being unexperienced when we started, both of us are from middle class family, so we did not have any experience one, and of course the capital that was required to grow an organization. Somehow we got stuck in the cash flow issues. We wanted to, grow very quickly, and so we started too many things. So that is where we got stuck. Um, but what? He somehow, had the opinion, let us close this business. But there came, what they said. They're passionate about women are passionate about their work. So I would add, besides passion, it is also the resilience that I think differs in men and women. That is what I see. So that thing only it took me 1 year, and of course with the support of my staff that agreed to support me at that time. But we somehow managed to bring it in back in green in 1 year. Having said that, the industry I was in, the telecom, the after sales services, and the government is majorly ruled by men. So there also you face challenges in terms of you are not seen as a someone who can actually run a technology services company, and I'm talking about like 2010. So they were not, and very conventional industry. Telecom is still very conventional. We're not very digital yet there. Yes, so these were the certain challenges. You know, I think you just learn to adapt to them and try to carve your way out. Yeah, I mean, now that you have done it, it seems easy. It's not that tough.
Really kudos.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mother. I think we have filed next.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's not always easy to be on the wrong side of time and share your story at the same time, but I'm going to try to keep it as brief as possible. Thank you, Vinita. It's been a really great afternoon. Way more learnings than one actually expected out of the topic here. She speaks, it's, I think, closest to the heart of not just women in the room, also men. It's, empowerment has suddenly become such a big thing. Are we actually ready with the empowered women? Are we ready to face them? Is going to be the next big question, because I don't think we start our journeys whenever we do wanting for somebody else to give us the power. We just take it through the process. It starts very early at home. I come from a family where, you mentioned the same thing. I was never raised like differently from how a boy would be raised. And I think that has helped in the overall journey. Some of you may understand Punjabi. When I was born, my grandmother came out telling my dad, "Kudi hai par soni hai." So it's a girl child, but don't worry, she's reasonably pretty. So just to give the news to somebody that a girl child is born, I'm talking about close to 5 decades ago, wasn't a great news to be delivered. Thankfully, that story has changed. I don't think percentage-wise those many people today are disappointed by having a girl child at home. The next big step when, like I said, when I was being raised, nothing was done differently or nothing was expected differently of me of how a boy would have been raised. I think that's what helped, because the major difference between being an entrepreneur and working for someone else, I think, is the ability and the freedom to be able to express yourself. I started as a job, I became an entrepreneur. I will share very quickly later how the whole thing happened, but then my company was bought over by a French company. They wanted to buy my company for whatever reasons, but they wanted me to stay with them and they wanted me to sign a 5-year contract, which I refused, saying, well, if you look after me, I will stay for life, but if you don't look after me, I don't think I'll stay for a day, so I'm not going to sign this. So I stayed with them for 17 years. And only last year, post-COVID and post some other personal changes in my life, I decided to leave that job and join my husband in his tourism business. So a job, an entrepreneurship, a job for 17 years and back to entrepreneurship. And the reason why I say this is because I don't think I planned any of these changes. The only thing I planned was to be able to do what I'm doing, not just with passion, but also with the freedom to be able to express myself. I think genetically, just like men and different should respect the changes and appreciate the different person, similarly, all entrepreneurs have to remember that they can only run their businesses successfully if they look after their employees. So there's nothing right or wrong on each side. It's just that we are genetically made a little bit differently. I genuinely believe that if we learn to respect each other's differences, the skill sets that we come with, passion being one of them, compassion being another one, resilience being another one, and one of the speakers before me said that, the willingness to be mentored by the opposite sex is again recognizing that men have different skill sets and women have different skill sets. I think what has worked brilliantly in my story has been the willingness to learn and adapt and play the feminine or the masculine side as and when it was required to. I was in a very, very male-dominated industry. Today, this afternoon, to see this room with literally 50% men and women has been one of the rarest days for me. I've attended conferences with close to 300 people where not more than 10 women were there. Because I was in the relocations and removals industry, totally male dominated. I've been asked a question, oh, so it must be so hard to get work done from men. And yes, from time to time, you do face a situation where a man walks into your office, looks at you, and before walking out says, you know what, when I saw you, I actually thought I'm not going to do this deal with you just because you're a woman. And they were honest enough to express it. So we've all had our own shares of experiences. In the interest of time, I think I'll limit it to this. I'm happy if there's a question, but my experience has been there's no right or wrong, there's no superiority or inferiority. We just complement each other. As long as we respect that, I think we can do a great job.
Entering a male dominated industry 30 years back must have been a challenge. Deepika, to you.
Hi, good evening everyone. I'm also going to keep it extremely short and simple. But to start my story, I'm going to quote Bollywood. I'm sure all of you heard this phrase many times. मेरी रातों की नींद और मेरा दिल का चैन प्यार ने नहीं पर entrepreneurship ने चुराया है. I've been an entrepreneur now for the last 10 years and it's been such an amazing journey. It's had its amazing highs and it's also had its amazing lows. And truth be told, my entrepreneurial journey started with a marketing consultancy. So I've been a marketing professional for all my life, and we worked with for my consultancy we worked with some FMCGs, we worked with NGOs, we worked with startups, and that was a completely different life. There was a lot of hustle. Like if you've ever worked with a marketing agency or have you ever seen your marketing team, you know like it's a 24-hour job. You're just constantly online, you're constantly looking at what's happening where. But that hustle also made me realize that my wellness, my team's wellness, our mental health, all of that was going for a toss. So in 2018 began my foray into the mental health world. So at that time it was still a passion project, but we launched an app which was a self-help app. But we realized with time that more was needed for the mental health space. Thankfully, even though at that time a lot of people didn't understand what mental health was, and I say thankfully, but I don't mean it, COVID struck. And people started acknowledging what mental health is. People started understanding what mental health is. And with that grew the need of creating a platform where there were professionals on board, where people could come and take counseling. So that's how There For You started. So very, very literally, we are there for you for your mental health needs. So we have counseling professionals and we have wellness professionals on board where people can come and use our services anytime they're feeling low. And as an entrepreneur and as someone who has seen her lows and has gone through her turbulent times, I know that the professionals we have on board are extremely good and are much needed, because after a point we can't help ourselves, we need other people. So I'm not going to promote my platform as much, but as an entrepreneur, I know failure is a massive thing. So something that Mrs. Bakshi also stated earlier, the fact that, not every entrepreneurial journey is going to be a success. There is a lot of failure, and to deal with failure, it's okay to acknowledge it. And I know I've acknowledged it. I have stopped one of my startups. I have started something new. So acknowledging failure is very important as an entrepreneur. Be it male or female. So I can see Mrs. Bakshi like on the mic going, because they're not stopping. So I'm just gonna
remove the tea from outside, saying that we pass the time, no hygiene, nothing.
As an entrepreneur, we all know how important chai is, and the chai breaks are. So just to close, I think anytime anyone thinks about being an entrepreneur, and this is especially for the students out here, if you are thinking of it, I'm so happy you are, but be okay with failing. Be okay with losing out sometimes. Be okay with the lows, because the highs are seriously the best. Alright, thank you everyone.
Otherwise, wear the loss like a hat the way I wear.
Yeah.
So
It is a little lonely
It is a
being an
little
entrepreneur.
yeah,
It's not
it is,
easy.
It is not easy.
I think Mr.
Acknowledge
Singh
that. Yes.
said earlier, right? It is a lonely journey after a point.
So I would like to invite Geeta and Kasturi for something special they have to share with you. Before I say give a thank you note.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Geeta, and I'm working with Amra Foundation as a communication manager. I would like to thank each and everyone for participating in this very event, which is a decade-long event, which is running by Amra Foundation, especially for women entrepreneurs, and to encourage them more and more of innovation to be filled in. And especially when we talk about entrepreneurship, we also there were like lots of talk about funding part, right? So here also, as a foundation, even we are looking for we do lots of drive for the fundraising, and this is also one of the fundraising part as well. Even this event for us. So when I talk about fundraising is not only about money here. So fundraising is also about connecting people. It is also about showing how empathy you are to that cause, or for the people who are in the marginalized community, or who have been deprived from the privileges what we have right now. So I believe that each drop of the water, how the ocean forms, similarly each penny or each rupee of money what we raise, it will have an impact to that particular community of the women or the young children, youth. Wherever we do the community work, the impact has already been shown by the Amra Foundation since a decade long. And there have been many impactful projects which have been running from the Amra Foundation, and for that, we have been come up with one of the fundraising events that is through the Portly. So which we have kept it outside, and that is one of the drive where we would like to give that Portly to everyone who would like to contribute for our impact which we are doing for the community. And that particular Portly, so this is the Portly which will be if anyone is interested in this drive, you can take this home away and keep with you for a quarter, that is 3 months time. So within this 3 months time, you will be able to raise, maybe say for any event or any birthdays, we spend a lot of money. Maybe not everyone, but most of us do spend on cakes or anything, but instead of that, maybe a small amount can go in this Portly for the society or our community. So that is the motive, or that is the vision for this Portly drive. So if any one of you are interested, you can register yourself at the registration desk and take this Portly home, and we will contact you for the collection purpose. And also, we will share our stories via our quarterly newsletter, what has been done through that drive and what has been impacted with that money which was collected. So that is the story all about fundraising. And also, we have different types of fundraising. This is not only one of the drive. Next event will be coming up on June 5th, that is the Environment Day. And all of us know that right now is the climate issue which is going on. So probably we can at least plant a tree, or we could do something about the environment where we can save, maybe saving the water resources, or maybe saving the environment. So that is also one of the drive where we will be sending the invitation for all of you who have participated in this event. So if any one of you are interested, you can join us on June 5th as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Kasturi, you had to say something about every woman has a story.
taking time into consideration. So I would just like to close the Every Woman Has a Story segment. I'm sure we are deeply moved by the sheer resilience and unwavering determination displayed by each of these phenomenal women. So let us carry forth their narratives as a testament to the limitless potential that resides within every woman and shaping a future where barriers are broken and dreams are realized.
Thank you. Shall I deliver my thank you note from here itself? I'm so sorry, first of all, that we ran out of time. We were meant to finish at 5:30 and it is 5:49. It is not so much of a delay. So I take this opportunity to thank with the bottom of my heart all the people who are with us in this journey. And especially my volunteers, my team, my interns, and all the esteemed audience and panelists, speakers, and guests, each one of you, through your pearls of poetry, through your entrepreneurial journey, and through the discussion, you've all contributed in filling this empty vessel and connecting with each other to form the same water which flows through an ocean or a river. And thank you so much for being here. Thank you, each one of you. I would request my entire team for a group photograph, and I would also request all the volunteers to come on stage for a group photograph. Thank you so much.